women, by the way, who have given service to the nation and all the police on the front lines against the rabble in the streets. And that's what we're doing today. We're talking about how you've helped many of them. Meanwhile, the country's in great danger right now. You know, I watch the debate. I say to myself, what's wrong with them? They put, like, what's the biggest problem facing America as question 5? They put national security down on the list. To me, it's number 1. If I ran a debate, Michael Savage, the first question to the candidates would be, what are you going to do to make certain that ISIS is annihilated from the planet, and how long will it take you to do it? Mr. Trump, you're first. Carly Fiorina, you're second. What would you do to get them off the planet? End of story. That's the only question I want answered, because everything else will fall in place. You understand the domino effect? If we can rebuild the military, first of all, if you say you're going to do that, it would require a massive infrastructure change in the military. You'd have to rebuild the military. You'd have to repopulate the military with real combat veterans. You'd have to get rid of the dead wood that Obama has put in there. So just doing that would create a giant sucking sound going north, meaning bringing the whole nation back up. Just taking on ISIS would heal this nation's weakness. Do you understand that? That's what I think. The economy would follow. The society would follow. The schools would follow. I'd reintroduce the draft to make everybody face the music as to the fact that that nothing in this life is free. Nothing is free. Everyone, you know the old saying, freedom is not free. You ever hear that one? No one knows that anymore. Freedom is not free. What does that mean? What does that mean, freedom is not free? It means that they're the gravestones that you see with the crosses on them in military cemeteries. That's what they mean by freedom is not free. So I think it's worth celebrating today, the veterans of America. And if I'm not doing a good enough job, it's because this is Studio 5 for me today, if you just joined. I'm not boasting about it, but it's like a laughing stock now here in the KSFO studio. They say, come on, Savage, are you a studio killer? How did this happen? I said, no, it's just, I've never in my 21 years had this happen. And if I was saying God was talking to me, he would have said, don't broadcast today. Think about that. But I've been doing this for an hour and a half, and thus far, you know, I don't know. So far, so good. I'm walking that line on the show. 4 studios had a race to the city. 4th one was out, jackhammering just before the show. Ran over here. KSFO was kind enough to put me back in the studio. I haven't been here in a long time. Never in the studio. This is the new one. And it's a fun place to be. I love radio stations. And just to confirm something, I did not eat in the studio. I began to eat in the studio, and then I said, wait a minute, this place is too clean. I'll bet you there's a rule against eating in the studio. Sure enough, there was. So I took the food out of the studio, and I went and ate the meat pie on the break with the gooey, wooey Louie in the lunchroom. And here I am, taking your calls. Look at the news out there. Look at the Drudge Report. Where did he get that picture of Hillary Clinton? I mean, I don't do this. I got to tell you something. I love the Drudge Report, and Matt is a wonderful guy, and I try not to do what some people do, which is read right off his website. But the picture he has right now of Hillary Clinton could change the course of the election. How did he do this? Wigged out, Hillary gives up hair battle. Where did he get this from? How does he get a picture like this? Because this is the real Hillary Clinton. She looks like every daffy leftist librarian you've ever encountered who told you, leave the library, please. You are reading the U.S. Constitution, which is illegal in my library. Doesn't she look like every crackpot leftist woman you've ever met in your life over the age of 50? That's what they look like. And I'm not being sexist in saying that. She's a type. She's a stereotype. I would say, you know, Confessions of a Mad Housewife, but no, she's not a mad housewife. It's Confessions of a Mad Candidate. Who got this picture, I'd like to know. I don't want to be him. Whoever got this picture of Hillary Clinton better not go jogging in Marcy Park is my suggestion. That's all. Debate ratings on downward. I couldn't even find the channel last night. I didn't know where Fox Business Channel was. I have Comcast where I live. I had to look it up on the internet. Where can I watch the debate tonight? Have you heard anything like this? Fox buried it? Why would they bury the debate? Maybe people are debated out. Maybe they had enough of this already. And when are the Democrats actually going to hold a real debate? When are they going to have a debate already? So we can hear what they actually have to say. You know, they grill them pretty good. That Maria Bartolomeo, whatever her name is, I never can get it right. I'm not trying to be cute about her name, but to her say about her sterling resume, how would you compete with Hillary's sterling resume? The audience booed, rightly so. What's the resume? Let's see. Let's see Hillary's sterling resume as Secretary of State, Maria Bartiromo. Let's see. As Secretary of State, she instituted the Arab Spring. How'd that work out, Maria? Have you not been following the news? The Middle East is in turmoil. It's in flames. That's what you call a good resume? Astounding. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Now let's go to the callers. 855-400-7282. KSFO, TJ. I'm sorry, what? All right, all the news, views, and reviews you could ever tolerate when I come back. From the bombing of the Russian jetliner to the veterans, to the book, to the colonels, to the bird colonels, to chicken in the basket, right here on the Savage Nation. Be here or be nowhere.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282.
Veterans Day used to mean something in America when we had a patriot in the White House. Now it's just a sham, of course. Hussein gave a speech this morning that was absurd, ludicrous. Ludicrous with that limp-wristed salute. The purges continue. Joseph Stalin executed his generals in the 1940s out of fear they were plotting a coup against him. They were not. As a result, the Soviet military was unable to operate effectively. Similarly, other dictators have purged the military in paranoid fits. Today we are witnessing a similar purge, carried out not with bullets, but with smears, innuendo, and spurious legal charges. But it is a purge of senior military officers, nevertheless. The progressive Islamist takeover continues. General David Petraeus, Major General Michael Carey, Vice Admiral Timothy Jardina, General Stanley Allen McChrystal were just a few of the heroes purged from the new progressive military by Hussein Obama. But this was not the end of it, was it? The administration has continued from right where my last book left off, with each attack upon our military even more bold and more outrageous than the last. Lieutenant Commander Wes Motter, 19-year veteran of the U.S. military. Well, you know that story. They try to kick him out of the Navy. They try to kick him out of the Navy because he said something about, I don't know what it was, something. All he did was say something. He was set up by a gay underling, and he talked about his Christian faith, and they try to throw him out of the military, a former Navy SEAL. It's all part of the progressive Islamic takeover of America. In the private sector, they relentlessly attack small businesses run by Christians, bakeries, etc. In the military, they attack patriotic warriors and Christian chaplains. In both cases, anyone who resists their agenda must be destroyed. What never ceases to amaze me is the lead role played by gay activists. One would think they would be the first to oppose the Islamofascists, as homosexuals are among the first tortured and executed under Islamic rule. These are the maniacs who throw homosexuals off rooftops, stone them to death, and commit all manner of atrocity against them. Yet here they are participating in Obama's purge of the military, at least in the case of Chaplain Motter. You would think they would be seeking to strengthen our military against the barbarians who would kill them first, but they don't. They will launch an all-out war against a Christian restaurant that refuses to cater a gay wedding, but not a word of protest against those who would behead the couple if they had them under their power. It's a tragic irony that gay activists would participate in a military purge because they have been the victims of precisely the same tactics in the past. For all of the left's characterizing conservatives as Nazis, it is the progressive administration that is actually acting like them. Since public schools don't teach history anymore, you may not have ever learned about the Night of the Long Knives. And I write about that in Government Zero Under Zero Military. And I talk about one case after another, naming the officers who have been purged and how they support Islam and purge Christians. And if you think I'm making it up, I have another guest coming for you because I have many, many pages of cited references to show you just how bad it is. And you know, I watched the debates last night. You would think one question, well, I wouldn't think one question would be, what would you do to restore the military? Not from Bartiromo. Certainly not from the crew at whatever that channel was, Fox Business. They didn't ask any questions like that. It was an okay debate. It wasn't all bad, but they didn't ask the questions I would have asked. You know, why don't talk about the purge of the military and what would you do to fix it? Let's go to some of the callers, please. Dave, WJR Line 8, go ahead, please. You're on the Savage Nation.
Yeah, Dr. Savage, I'm kind of the opinion, I think the downing of the Russian airliner could possibly change the history when we look back of the Middle East, because I believe the Russian military is going to be unleashed. They have no idea what they've done, kicking the Russian bear like that.
Well, look, let me say this. We all pray to God Putin does that. We pray to God he unleashes the military on them. But I've seen no evidence that he's done that. Have you?
I don't believe they're ready yet, but I'm sure in their war rooms they're ramping up. They are not going to take that lying down. And I believe the Russians are looking for a world stage for their military, and this could be the place. Because
I hope it goes from your mouth to God's ears on the way passes through Putin's ears, because something that Feinstein said over the weekend, Senator Dianne Feinstein, was of note to me, which I played on Monday, where she said we must join Russia to defeat them because either we fight them now or we're going to fight them later, meaning the Islamo-fascists. I thought that was astounding coming from a liberal Democrat of her power. Don't you think that's a signal that maybe there is something going on behind the scenes? I can't hear you, my friend, but stay on the line. We'll send you a copy of Government Zero. Line number 1, Ralph on WMAL. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Dr. Savage. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I would like to thank you for all that you've done for the veterans over the years. And also,
well, look, I got to say this, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Humble. This show is not about me. This show is about them. Okay, and I've been a conduit in many ways to bring to light some of the terrible things that have been done to them from Bush onward. But really, it's to honor them, not to talk about me. But certainly, I'll take the compliment. No man would reject such a compliment. Thank you for saying that. But it's about the vets, not about me.
Well, one of the things that I heard you say is the fact that you were driving into the studio and we're thinking about how you're going to deal with the scholarships that you gave out in 215. And your decision about giving those scholarships, giving the veterans' children an opportunity for those scholarships. And
I thought that would be a nice thing to do if I do this again in 2016, if I can pull it together and get the energy and the money and all. And I'll give them, it'll be open. I asked my lawyer, by the way, to check it out. I want to limit the scholarships next year only to children of active military and active police. And I want to find, I'm pretty sure with a private scholarship, I can give it to anyone I want.
Well, for that matter, it is those people, those individuals that sacrifice themselves on a daily basis.
I know that. And I mean not only active military, but look at what's being done to our police today under Hussein. Look at the war against the street police that's being conducted because of him. And, you know, they don't have a lot of money. And their kids need the scholarships. And that's why I want to do it. I'm sending you a copy of Government Zero. Let's go to line 7. Tony on WMAL. You're next up on the Savage Nation. Tony, what's your topic?
Hi, Dr. Savage. I'm a former military, retired 21 years, and now a cop. One of my soldiers, when I was in Korea in 2006, he was the best soldier I ever had. Well, he got his college degree, and he stupidly became an infantryman and went to Afghanistan. Okay, in 2012, a motorcyclist with 3 Taliban were coming at his position, and he ordered his gunmen his truck to shoot at him. He killed 2 Taliban. The other one got captured. He's now spending 20 years in Leavenworth. His name is Clint Lawrence, and there's like some website.
All right, hold it. I'm taking this case on. I'm going to take this case on like I did the others. Let's start from the top. It occurred in what year? And it was under Hussein, not under Bush?
It's 2012. He was a former MP like myself. He was my...
No, I understand. He made a split decision in a combat zone to take them out before they took him and his men out. And for that, the vermin above him condemned him and threw him into Leavenworth. Is he